Hey guys, John here with Billings Seafood Guys. We are back with another session of Seafood Q&A. This is where you guys get to ask us any questions. You can ask us on social media, email, anything. And then we will be filming these throughout the week and get these questions answered for you. So we got a question coming from, I believe, Ian. What question we got?
Yes, Ian wants to know what the odds are of finding fresh, never frozen seafood.
Okay, so Ian's asking what are the odds of finding fresh, never frozen seafood. So there's a couple parts to this question that I'll go in, and this is actually kind of going to be a long one. So yes, you can definitely find fresh seafood, but you want to ask the right questions. So a couple things. If you want to find fresh, wild-caught seafood, you got to realize that wild-caught seafood is seasonal, especially this stuff up in Alaska. So if you're looking for fresh salmon, for example, the seasons for that, obviously the Copper River is the first thing that starts for salmon, which is in May, and then throughout August, maybe into September, but so it's very seasonal. So if you're in a supermarket and you see what looks like a fresh sockeye fillet in January or February, you want to ask those questions, because chances are that stuff was not just flown in from Alaska. That stuff was actually probably thawed. It was a fillet, or it was a whole headed and gutted fish that was thawed, then filleted, and then put on the shelf or in the market. So you want to know the right questions to ask. The other thing is with fresh seafood, a lot of people don't know this, but what's considered fresh is kind of tough to say, because this stuff up in Alaska, for example, when I was running and operating seafood plants up there, if we were lucky, we would get this salmon to the plant 24 hours plus after it's been harvested. So the fish is already a day in, out of the water. It gets to the seafood plant. Then at the plant, you go through your motions in the plant. You're doing your processing. You cut the fish. That fish is, if it's going to get filleted, it's what's called slacked out for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, and then it's processed. So before that fish is totally filleted, it gets on the plane to head down south. That's probably, if you're lucky, another 24 plus hours at the plant. So you're already 2 days into this fish. Then it travels. Again, you're probably another day of traveling where it gets to Seattle or wherever it is, and then it gets distributed. So by the time it's sitting, in the market, in the display, if you're lucky, you're probably 3 or 4 days in. And then that fish will sit for a few days in the market or in the shelf, in the display. And that's where, if you start seeing, that fish really starting to kind of open up and gape, and it just doesn't look, firm and just beautiful and red, it starts losing that beautiful red, vibrant color, that's because of time. So, I'm a big believer in that flash frozen stuff, because, it gets to the plant, it's processed, and then flash frozen. All that stuff is kept in. So that's kind of a few things on the fresh seafood. Again, know the seasons of your seafood. You can learn that from our material, from our website, and ask those questions. Ask the questions of when it came in, or if it actually is fresh, or if it was frozen and then slacked out. So it's all going to make a difference in quality. But I hope that answered your question, Ian. Thank you, guys. Bring on more questions. We want to help you guys out and educate you. Thank you.